Hello students, welcome to AKS IAS. In this lecture, we will be dealing with the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. This is the central government scheme which we will be trying to understand. It is a new central sector scheme and pension scheme for only small and marginal farmers. So please note that over here, earlier in our earlier video, we dealt with Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. The Pradhan Mantri Samman Nidhi is eligible, or it is going to cater to all farmers who have a land holding. However, this scheme that we are dealing with presently, that is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana, is going to be eligible only for small and marginal farmers who own less than 2 hectares of land. So try to focus on this, that this is the criteria of the scheme. Every farmer who owns less than 2 hectare of land is eligible for the scheme. Under the scheme, a minimum fixed pension of rupees 3000 is provided to eligible small and marginal farmers on attaining the age of 60 years. So here you can see this scheme is a pension scheme that is provided to the small and marginal farmers after they attain the age of 60 years. It is a voluntary and contributory pension scheme with average entry age of 18 to 40 years. So all farmers who own less than 2 hectares of land in the age group of 18 to 40 years, they can subscribe for this scheme so that they will get a pension of rupees 2000 after they attain the age of 60 years. It is voluntary in nature and it is contributory. That is, these farmers have to make a certain contribution to this scheme. The beneficiary under the scheme is required to make a monthly contribution of between rupees 55 to 200 to the pension fund depending on the age of entry into the scheme. So it usually happens that if a person is entering at a very young age, for instance, you can take for if a person is entering into the scheme at 18 years of age, then the contribution is less, that it could be about 55 rupees or 60 rupees. But if a person is entering say at around 35 years of age, then he should make more contribution for about 150 rupees or 170 rupees per se. So that is about it. Also, please remember that in this scheme, the contribution is made by the central government as well as the farmer. So the central government will contribute equally to the beneficiary's contribution. So 50% of the you know contribution is by the central government and 50% is by the beneficiary. The pension fund is managed by the LIC. So please remember this. The Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Samman Nidhi is managed by the LIC. The Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana is managed by the Life Insurance Corporation of India. The farmers can also allow contribution to be made directly from the benefits drawn from the PM Kisan scheme. That is the Pradhan Mantri Kisan scheme. A certain amount, as we have seen earlier, a 6,000 rupees amount is given to this farmer household. So the farmers can also allow contribution to be made directly from the benefits drawn from the PM Kisan scheme. The beneficiary may exit from the scheme voluntarily or on failure of contribution or on demise. See, as it is a pension scheme, if a person is no more or passed away, then the pension will not be applicable. And also, if he wants to withdraw from the scheme, that he does not want to make contribution towards the scheme, he can withdraw anytime. The beneficiaries may opt out voluntarily to exit the scheme after a minimum period of 5 years of regular contribution. So please remember that this is the criteria laid down. Okay. On exit, only their contribution shall be returned by the LIC with an interest equivalent to prevailing savings bank rate within 10 years, either accumulated interest actually earned by the pension fund or the interest at the savings bank rate, whichever is higher. So, if at all a person is exiting from the scheme, this is the interest that the LIC will pay to the farmer. The spouse of that particular farmer is also eligible to get a separate pension of 6,000 pension of 3,000 rupees upon making separate contribution to the fund. Okay. On the death of the subscriber during the period of contribution, the spouse shall have the option of continuing the scheme by paying the regular contribution. Okay. If the spouse does not wish to continue the scheme, the total contribution made by the farmer along with the interest will be paid to the spouse. If there is no spouse, then the total contribution along with the interest will be paid to the nominee of the farmer. If the farmer during the receipt of the pension, the spouse or heir shall be entitled to receive 50% of the pension as family pension, provided he or she is not already an SMF beneficiary of the scheme. After the death of both the farmer and the spouse, the accumulated corpus shall be credited back to the pension fund. However, there are certain exceptions. The beneficiary should not be covered under any other statutory social security schemes. Please note that to avail the benefits of the scheme, the beneficiary or the farmer should not be covered under any other statutory social security schemes, and it includes exceptions under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan scheme. Whatever exceptions that are there in the Pradhan Mantri Kisan scheme, the same exceptions will be resorted to under the scheme as well. It aims to cover around 3 crore small and marginal farmers in India. The initial enrollment to the scheme is being done through the common service centers in various states. So that is about the Pradhan Mantri Man Dhan Yojana.